Hey guys, welcome back to 234 En La Casa. So we're going to be doing deviled eggs today. I love deviled eggs. They're one of my favorites. But I'm going to do these Louisiana style. So they're going to be Cajun deviled eggs. They're going to be sweet and spicy. I'll show you the recipe for that. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. In the beginning of the video, I'm going to show you all how to boil the eggs first. So if you know how to boil eggs and get them to peel real easy, just skip that part. I'll try to remember to timestamp everything. So if you don't need to know the way to boil eggs and get them to peel really easily, then you can just skip it, okay? All right, guys, I'll see y'all back over here in just a second. I'm really excited to show y'all this recipe. Like I said, I love deviled eggs. They are my favorite. I call them stuffed eggs too. So anyway, so I'll use that interchangeably in the video, but I'll see y'all over here in a second. All right, guys, so I'm gonna use 6 eggs, okay? And so you're gonna add cold water to your pot that you're gonna boil your eggs in. And you want to make sure that you cover your eggs with the water, okay? And then we're gonna add some kosher salt to your water and some white vinegar, okay? And so the amount of salt and the amount of vinegar is going to depend on how many eggs you're boiling. So the more eggs you're boiling, then the more salt you're going to use. So I've got a pinch of salt there. And I think I'm going to add some more to that too. Okay. So there's a pinch of salt. And that's about as much vinegar as I'm going to add. Let me add a little bit more. Okay. All right, so I've got these on the stove. I'm bringing this to a boil. Okay, and one thing I wanted to add, just make sure that if your eggs are right out of the refrigerator, that you add cold water or the same temperature water to your eggs. Or if your eggs are at room temperature, then you add room temperature water to your eggs so that everything comes up to temperature at the same time. If things are different temperatures and all of that when you're boiling eggs, those eggs can crack and the contents of the eggs can start seeping into your water. So you just want to be very careful to make sure to use the same temperature water of your egg that you are attempting to boil. So you don't want to put scalding hot water, on your eggs that just came out of the fridge. Okay, that just make sure everything matches and then bring everything up to temperature and boil so that they boil uniformly and completely, okay? Okay, so our eggs are boiling. I'm going to turn this down to medium low and start the timer here for 12 minutes. Since I've got 6 eggs, I'm going to do 12 minutes, okay? And additionally, as you can see, none of them are cracked or anything, okay? Okay, guys, so it's been the 12 minutes. So this is our eggs. I'm going to go ahead and drain this hot water off. And we're just going to put cold water in here. Submerge the eggs in cold water. And when they are cool enough to touch, you can go ahead and start peeling them. And I'm going to go ahead and peel one for you guys, or a few, so you can see how easy they are to peel. See that? See how the shell just falls off, basically. Okay. With this particular method. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna slice the egg in half. Okay. Boiled egg. And you'll see that it's done on the inside. And I'll bring that close so you all can see. And I'm going to use a soft spoon to get the egg yolk out. If you use like a metal spoon, sometimes it'll if you're not gentle, it can rip your egg, Lord have mercy, your egg white, your boiled egg white, rip it in half and damage it. So I usually will use like a plastic spoon that doesn't have a lot of weight to it, or some other kind of soft spoon, like a silicone spoon, okay? But so your little plastic spoon, it's not going to hurt your egg white, okay? And if you want to scrape some of the egg yolk out of your egg white, that plastic spoon or silicone spoon is not going to, rip your egg white either. Okay. It's just a more gentle, not only do you have to be gentle with your hands, but your utensil needs to be gentle as well to get your yolk and stuff, out of there and not damage the other part. This one I think is a brown egg. Okay. Okay, so that's the brown egg. And I'll use my spoon to get that off, the egg yolk off that egg white on the outside. But what you're gonna wanna do too is make sure that the knife you're using, that you just clean it off for each slice when you're slicing through the egg, the boiled egg. Okay. Okay. So we've got our egg yolks. They're ready. I'm sorry, the egg whites, the boiled egg whites in a bowl, and they're ready. And so now we're going to work on these egg yolks. I'm going to go ahead and start breaking these egg yolks up. And you can use an egg masher if you have one. I'm just going to use a fork. And this is going to be the Louisiana-style deviled eggs or stuffed eggs. So they're going to be, sweet and spicy, Louisiana Cajun style. And as we stir in the like the mayonnaise and all that kind of stuff, it's going to break these egg yolks up even more. So you don't have to get it just broken all the way down at this stage. Okay. But you do want to get it broken down, but I'm just saying you don't have to just get all, upset if you have a few larger pieces. Okay, and so to this, we're going to add our spices. So we're going to add 2 pinches of Chef Prudhomme's Poultry Magic, 2 pinches of cayenne pepper, 2 pinches of Tony's, 2 pinches of granulated garlic, and 2 pinches of onion powder. And we're only doing pinches because it's just 3 eggs here. Okay, so just 3 egg yolks. So if you decide that if you need to double it, then you'll just, you can double it based on the number of eggs that you have. Okay. And if I taste this and I feel like I need to add some more spices to it, I will. But I think the 2 pinches is probably going to be enough for this level. For this amount of egg yolks. And it was like 2 to 3 pinches, y'all. So, okay, so then we got those spices added. I'm going to go ahead and stir that in to the egg yolks. A teaspoon of sweet pickle relish. And I try not to get a lot of juice on it. When I mix it together, if I feel like that it's a little bit dry, then I may add some more juice to it. But I try not to add a lot of juice from the sweet pickle relish. And then we're going to get a tablespoon of mayonnaise, and I use the Blue Plate mayonnaise. And just remember, you all can always adjust and add. When you start stirring it up, if it doesn't look the way you want it to look, or you want it thicker or thinner or what have you, then you would just either add or take away some of your wet ingredients. Okay. And then we're going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of yellow mustard. Okay. And then we're just going to mix all of this together. And as I mix, I'll mash a little bit. Okay, that way, you get your egg yolks nice and reduced down, smashed down. Now, this is the consistency that I like for my deviled eggs or stuffed eggs to be. I don't want them runny. I don't want them, I want my yolk to sit up in the egg white, really to be able to sit up on its own. So this is the consistency that I like. If you like yours runny, then you need to add some more either sweet pickle relish juice to make it more runny. but I like for them to sit up and hold up. Because you may have it out at like a barbecue or whatever and it's hot outside, although you know you don't want to leave mayonnaise based things out in the heat for a long period of time, but you know it's not going to run as quickly as your stuffed eggs or deviled eggs that are already running in the first place. Okay, so we're going to put this into a piping bag, and I'll show you what piping bag I'm using. I'm using a plastic sour cream cup and a freezer bag. And I'm going to put this down in my plastic cup. And I'm going to get a spatula and put my egg yolks in it. If you already have a piping bag at home, you know, or whatever, then, you know, you can do that. But if you don't, this is another alternative to going out and buying a piping bag and a tip and all this kind of stuff, okay? It's just really easy. Just a Ziploc bag and a cup. And you're just going to tap your cup so that you can get all that egg yolk down to the bottom of the bag. Okay? And you don't have to, one other thing, you don't have to add sweet pickle relish if you don't want to. You can put a little bit of sugar in it to give it the sweetness that relish gives it. It's just left up to what you want to do. Okay? But you do want the heat of this because that's the point of having it Cajun style. So you're going to want the cayenne pepper. You're going to want the cayenne pepper, and you're going to want the Tony's and all that. Okay. All right. And so then you're going to take your Ziploc bag. You're going to cut the tip off right here, and you can pipe it into your egg yolks. I mean, egg whites. And you can pipe it really pretty, or you can just, see? Okay, there you go. And you can, you know, dust your deviled eggs, the Cajun, these are the Louisiana Cajun deviled eggs. You can dust these with paprika if you would like to. You can dust these with, and if you have an egg tray, put yours in an egg tray. I don't have one, so I just used a bowl. I forgot to mention that. You can dust yours with paprika, or you can dust them with black pepper, which I absolutely love because I love black pepper, but that's just a personal thing. Or you can dust them with Tony's if you would like to. And if you use Tony's to dust these Cajun, Louisiana stuffed deviled eggs, stuffed or deviled. If you use Tony's, I would just dust it with a small, scant amount because Tony's is very, it's a heavy spice. It doesn't take much. Using a little bit of Tony's goes a long way. So I would just dust it with a scant amount, okay? All right, and I think I'm gonna bring it up closer to the camera so you all can see. Okay. I'm gonna dust mine with Tony's since these are Louisiana Cajun style. And so there it is, dusted with the Tony's.